What's going on, Wix Nation? MPS here from Wix Training Academy. Happy to be back. I hope you guys are liking all the action happening on the channel. Now, drop me a comment. Let me know if you are. But in the meantime, today in our Wix E-Commerce series, we are going to touch on how to set up payment methods in your Wix website. See, before we start diving into the meat of physical design and development with our e-commerce stores, I want to make sure something that's often overlooked from people, and honestly, I can understand why, because I've been there, is we get a little over-eager to start building and designing, and we forget to get some of the fundamental things done, such as setting up our payment methods, getting our business and tax information set up, making sure we're set on the shipping front, getting the logistics and setting-based stuff done. I know it's not necessarily the fun part. I mean, getting paid is, but it's something that's so necessary, and if we miss it, we could end up in some hot water down the road. So that's why I want to start on the right foot, make sure we're hitting the fundamentals, and that's what we're going to touch on today. If you guys are excited, drop a like, comment down below, and lastly, if you haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn those bell notifications on, because if there's one thing I know, it is that you will not want to miss the content here on the channel, because it's only going to continue to get better. And oh, by the way, if you wanted some free Wix training access as well, the link down in the description below. All right, guys, let's jump into it. All right, so what we're going to touch on and cover today is setting up our payment methods here in Wix, because it's important that we get this ready to go so that way when someone goes to purchase on our site, we can actually accept payments, right? Pretty important step, I would think, wouldn't you? Well, so when it comes to setting up your payment methods, first and foremost, Wix has created a nifty little let's set up your site portion, and they've got set up payment methods here if you went down the path of setting up and using an e-commerce or an online store template. If you didn't do that, though, I'm going to show you the back way how to go ahead and get this set up. So what you're going to do is you're going to scroll over here to the left-hand side, and you are going to go to Finances. Once you go to Finances, you're going to see Payments. Now, make sure customers can pay you online. This is where you're then going to press Manage Payment Methods. You'll click Manage Payment Methods, and you'll see that Wix now has a plethora of different payment options that you can choose from when it comes to your online store. So they recommend their internal payment processor. So it says accept debit and credit cards with Wix. And I will say, to their credit, this is a good payment processor because they let you accept all major debit and credit cards. They let you accept Apple Pay. It's all integrated. And what you would do is you would press Connect. Now, when you go to press Connect, they're going to take you through a little survey of setting everything up. You're going to make sure you don't sell any of these items here on your online store. They have to make sure they protect themselves and liability because they're the payment processor. You'll press Continue. Oh, I accidentally said we are selling something down there. No, I do not sell any of those things. We'll press Continue, and then what I want to show you here, and this is probably about as far as I'll go on this particular payment provider, is it says it's connected, time to upgrade your site, right? So you got to make sure you've got the business and e-commerce plan. We touched that in the first video in this e-commerce series. So that's something you guys should have already done. You need a hosting plan, a business and e-commerce hosting plan to accept payments. But once you've done that, what you have to do is you have to complete setup. Now, I'm not going to be able to take you through this because what it's going to ask is it's going to ask a lot of your business legality questions. It's going to harvest things like your business EIN number, or if you're doing like a sole proprietorship or your own personal income, and that's how it's being reported, your social security number. It's going to ask your business address or your address. It's going to go through the whole nine of verifying the legitimacy of your business to make sure they are covered and you are covered. And if you don't already have, an LLC or a sole proprietorship registered with your state, I highly recommend you go ahead and do so, because you're likely going to want to put this information into a business account and a business bank account to keep it separate from your own personal self if it's an LLC, not a sole proprietorship. That's just me putting on my consultant hat and giving you some business information rather than some website information, because you're going to want, for tax purposes, probably having them separate, and you'll file business taxes and personal taxes. Now, I know I'm going down a big rabbit hole here, and I don't want to take you down too far, but where I was going with that is you're going to need all of that information when you go through to set up your payments here through Wix Payments. Once it's set up, once your site is upgraded, you'll have the ability to then start accepting debit and credit cards and Apple Pay through Wix Payments. Now, another thing I wanted to touch on is you can add additional payment methods outside of that. See, most websites, it's very suffice to just be able to take credit card payments or debit card payments and or Apple Pay. Most websites, that's all you'll need, right? But if you want to add things like PayPal, you can connect PayPal. And when you press connect, it'll ask you your PayPal account information and you'll connect it. And that way, if someone chooses to go through and pay via PayPal, it'll go straight to your PayPal account. You'll also see manual payments. This is if someone pays in cash and you just record a manual form of payment. Or this is where that plethora of options comes into play. Now, Wix has a variety of different payment methods. So you can use PaySafe Cash. This lets customers pay securely with cash. You can use Afterpay. This is a new, very popular form, and it basically allows the buyers to buy stuff from your e-commerce store in 4 installments with no interest charged on those installments. Don't ask me how Afterpay makes money if they're not charging interest on credit. That's a whole separate conversation, but it is a payment option, and it does make it easier for your customers to buy things because it extends them credit. Very similar to Affirm. Affirm allows you to do the same thing. They have financing. It's quick, simple, it's transparent financing for shoppers to pay over time. So if someone's purchasing something big from your e-commerce store and they don't have all of the funds for it, these payment processors, Afterpay and Affirm, extend credit to your buyers that allows them to pay for products on your store over time. You've also got things like point of sale if you're in a physical local store location, Pinwheel, which is cryptocurrency, debit cards, Klarna, which is basically a big retail bank. It allows shoppers to buy and pay later. Again, a lot of buy now, pay later type stuff. So you can go through and you can figure out which of these payment options are going to be good, tailored payment options to your consumer. And you have to think in the eyes of your consumer. Who is your target market, right? And how are they likely to pay? Well, one, you definitely want to give everybody the ability to pay with a debit, credit card, and probably Apple Pay. And you should probably have PayPal as well. But if you know that your demographic and or your products are high priced, they're high ticket products, and you know people are likely going to have to extend some credit to pay for those things, you might want to consider options like Afterpay or Affirm or the new options like Pinwheel for cryptocurrency or Klarna. So go through, really educate yourself on these topics and really get familiar with who your buyer target demographic is. That's how you'll be able to determine what payment options you should go through. And you just press connect on each of these, and then you'll have to go through and you'll have to fill out some information such as your business tax information or your sole proprietor or personal tax information to be able to add them successfully to your Wix website. But that leads me into one last thing. When it comes to the finances of your website, this is so important, and above everything else, you talk about design, development, setting up the ability to get paid. I'd say the most overlooked thing and the one thing people least likely enjoy is making sure your accounting and your tax information is straight. This is the quickest thing to get you into a lot of trouble if you're not careful. So what I would like to present to you is a shout out to Awesome. Awesome is a financial and accounting bookkeeper for e-commerce store owners. So today's video is actually sponsored by Awesome. It's a market-leading e-commerce bookkeeping software and accounting solution. See, their app actually integrates with any e-commerce selling platform you use. Ultimately, what happens is it gives you direct access to a dedicated accountant. That's right. You've got your own dedicated accountant, and it's specialized in e-commerce. It gives you a snapshot overview of your financial position. It's easy to use. Right now, it's a UK e-commerce app that's growing quickly. So Awesome can register and get your business all sorted up in the UK for bookkeeping and accounting. But what I want to make sure is clear is that this is a quickly growing e-commerce financial accounting solution, and you need to make sure you have a financial accounting solution for your online store. If you go down in the link below, you can actually get exclusive discount on their services through my referral link. Yes, it's a referral link. Yes, you actually get some exclusive discounts on their services. All I can say is go give them a shot, because you need to make sure your tax information is straight. So go ahead, click that link down below and go check them out. So I hope this video was helpful. Obviously, I wanted to make sure you got your payment information set up and you've got that straight. And I want to make sure you're set and ready to go on the tax and accounting solution front of things. The last thing you want to do is get caught behind or do something wrong or incorrect in that regard. And then you're in hot water with the government or the IRS, depending on where you're located. And you don't want to deal with that, right? So make sure you're set up from the beginning. If this video helped you out, please drop a like down below. Comment, let me know if you've been liking all the action happening here on the channel. And lastly, hit and smash that subscribe button. Turn those bell notifications on so you're notified when new videos come out here on the channel, because we're having a lot of fun over here and it's only going to continue to grow. And if you want some free Wix training, that's also a link in the description below. I appreciate you guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll catch you on our next one.